And good morning and welcome to another edition of Telling It Like It Is. I'm Ralph Williams, solo today. Leo Haggerty had some other obligations. He was flying in from San Diego, and you know how the jet lag can be going all the way to Tampa. So Leo's not with us this morning, but I'm here by myself, and I'll be taking your comments in the comments section here as well. So I just wanted to inform you of that. Also, don't forget, coming up on Monday at 11 a.m., Ralph's Opinion. Now, Ralph's Opinion has been moved to this social media platform here, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter X platform. Reason for that is because I'm dissolving myself from Blog Talk Radio. And next Wednesday, the Pittsburgh Sports Talk Show will be the last of anything I do with Blog Talk Radio. And then I'm taking 2 weeks off, and I'm coming back on February the 11th. And what we're going to, or I'm sorry, March 11th. And what we're going to do is that will be the debut of our new reorganized Ralph RW Media Production shows. We're redoing every show except for the radio show, of course. You know, the radio show will always be where it is. It's not going anywhere. It'll always be on Beaver County Radio. And so, you know, therefore, that's what's happening there. But what I do want to tell you is that all my other shows of RW Media Productions will all be on the social media platform here, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter X platforms. The reason being is, as I mentioned before, I have to dissolve myself for personal reasons with Blog Talk Radio. And I want to thank them for letting me put my shows on there as well. And I have to dissolve myself from that. So Ralph's Opinion this Monday will be here on social media platforms. And then from now on, it'll always be on social media platforms. The Wednesday edition of Pittsburgh Sports Talk will also be on social media as well. And anything else connected with my RW Media brand will all be on social media from now on, okay? Except for the radio show on Beaver County Radio, just to let all of you know that. Okay, when we come back after these messages, we're going to get the show started, so stay tuned. Do you drive a dirty car? Why? You need to have your car detailed, and detailed by professionals at P6 Auto Detailing, New Kensington, Pennsylvania. Call today, 412-965-6578. P6 Auto Detailing. They are the professionals at detailing cars. That number again, 412-965-6578. P6 Auto Detailing in New Kensington. Let me talk to you today about the original Hometown Pizza in Moon Township, right on University Boulevard. They have some of the best pizza you'll ever have. 412-264-4444. Call for takeout, delivery, or eat in. Go to the original Hometown Pizza today. Mention my name, Ralph Williams, and you will get a discount on your bill. Hometown Pizza, Moon Township, some of the best of the original Hometown Pizza. All right, we're back here at Telling It Like It Is. I'm Ralph Williams. This morning we have a lot to talk about, including a lot of NFL news, golf news. I don't talk golf here much, but this morning I'm going to talk a little bit about it. Vern Lundquist, who is calling it quits. He's been around forever and 6 years with, doing golf. He is no longer going to do it. His last event will be, hang on a minute here. His last event will be on, let me see here. Okay, there we are. All right. His last event will be on, I had to fix something here. He will be doing the final broadcast of the Masters this April. That will be his final broadcast. And then Tiger Woods has been forced to cancel from the Genesis Invitational. He's not feeling well. He's got some health issues. And once again, he's had to back out of another event. And, Tiger's been doing that lately. And I'm a Tiger Woods fan. I like him. I like Rory McIlroy. I don't talk about golf much. I don't get into golf. Watching golf is boring. It's like watching paint dry. But there are two guys that I really get into, and one of them is Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy. I do care about what they do. All right. It's really sad that Tiger's in the position he's in. He kind of did some of this to himself when he got involved in that sex scandal or whatever he was involved in with his wife. Domestic arguments, and those things happen. At times, and especially if you're a celebrity. Everybody knows your business. Everybody knows your name. Everybody knows what you're doing. And with social media out there, it's difficult to cover up anything. And that's exactly what happens here. All right. It's very, very difficult to cover up anything. All right. Let's talk about the NFL right now. Steve Wilkes, and I made it known on the External Bum podcast or show yesterday with Scott Morganroth, JT Toth, and Leo Haggerty. We are now 1 hour. We'll be on 11 a.m. and starting on March 15th, we will be on this platform here, social media platform. All right. But anyway, getting back to this, Steve Wilkes was fired. And Steve Wilkes is one of the best defensive coordinators, defensive minds in the entire league. He had the Carolina Panthers at a 6-6 record, which did better than most of the coaches that they've ever had there. Okay. So when Steve Wilkes was with Carolina, they were 6-6. All right. He should have got the head coaching job to begin with, but they decided to bring in Frank Reich, draft Bryce Young, and look what's happened. Carolina has flopped, and now they have Dave Canellis there to try to resurrect Bryce Young's career. Bryce Young was the very first quarterback picked in the draft. My co-host, Smoking Jim Frazier, had said many, many, many times that Bryce Young was not an NFL quarterback to be drafted that high. Okay? And in case you don't know, Smoking Jim happens to be a scout. He's a freelance scout. He used to work for the Steelers until mediocre Mike Tomlin showed up. Okay? So what I'm saying to you is this. Okay, Smoking Jim knows what he's talking about. When he says Bryce Young's not an NFL quarterback, you take it with a grain of salt because it's the truth. Okay? The bottom line is Bryce Young is a horrible quarterback. And he's not an NFL quarterback, none whatsoever. And he should have been drafted in a later round, but instead they took him in the first overall pick. And then Frank Reich, who I'm really surprised at, was supposed to be this big quarterback guru, fixing quarterbacks. He did it in Indianapolis. Okay? So then he has Jimmy Caldwell on his staff, Deuce Staley on his staff. How in the world can you not win with that kind of staff? All right. And Dave Tepper's an idiot, who's the owner of the team. Okay. He's a complete moron. Because why in the world would you get rid of a coach that's only been around for a few or half the season? Okay. And then you go ahead and you hire Dave Canellis. Now, I have nothing against Dave Canellis. He's a good young coach. But I think Dave Canellis don't know what he's getting himself into. And I called this scenario. I said the only person who would take the Carolina job is somebody that's desperate to be a head coach. Because I don't think anybody with any kind of experience like a Bill Belichick or anybody would take that job because of David Tepper, okay? Who happens to be the owner of the Carolina Panthers and from this area. He went to Carnegie Mellon University. If you go to Carnegie Mellon University, you're ever in Pittsburgh here, check out most of the buildings. They're all Tepper this, Tepper that, Tepper. Okay? The man has a lot of money, but the man wastes it foolishly. When he fired Reich, he owes Frank Reich almost $30 million. He still owes he still owes oh gosh. Yeah, the head coach at Nebraska. All right. He still owes him money. Owes him like what, $40 million. So you're down $70 million. And you had to go out and get Dave Canellis because you can't get a real coach because the real coach is going to tell you forget it. So, all right. Yeah, I'm telling it like it is. Steve Wilkes got a bad deal down in San Francisco. Oh, well, Kyle Shanahan comes on and does a press conference and says, Oh, well, I'm not making no changes. The staff is fine. And then the next day, he fires Steve Wilks. Kyle Shanahan, you just made yourself look like an idiot because you come on and you lied. You said that there was going to be, you know, oh, nothing's happening. The coaching staff is fine. And then all of a sudden you go and you fire Steve Wilks. What are you kidding me? You just exposed yourself to being a liar. And you're crying over spilled milk, making somebody else take the blame because you decided, okay, because you decided to do that because you lost the Super Bowl. But instead of coming up and saying, okay, I lost the Super Bowl, it was my fault, I made some bad decisions, instead you made Steve Wilks look like the scapegoat. And you know what's funny, Kyle? You're just like your father, Mike Shanahan. That's something Mike Shanahan would do, but he doesn't do it that way. All right? You're watching Telling It Like It Is. I'm Ralph Williams, solo today. Leo is flying back from San Diego, and you know how long of a trek that is if you've flown from, cross country and gone from San Diego to Tampa. And Leo will join us again next week. All right? Because this is one of the shows that's not on hiatus right now. All my other shows are for 2 weeks. I will do my last Ralph's Opinion show on Monday, and I'll be back March 11th. Taking some time off, restructuring, reorganizing. Because there's a lot of things here involved in broadcasting that aren't working the way I thought they were going to work. Okay? I'm trying to find sponsors, can't find any. All right? Try to work with a company this week. Nope, they're not interested. They're not satisfied with what I have. They want more. They're willing to pay, but not for what I have to offer. I think things maybe in June will change, especially with Sports Corner. All right? We'll find out. I have a meeting with Beaver County Radio coming up probably around May to discuss some things with my contract, which ends in June for Sports Corner Radio. Okay? I'm not saying what's going to happen because I don't know. But I do know I am going to have a series of meetings with them to discuss the future of Sports Corner Radio. There's some things I want. There's some things they're going to have to give me in order for me to stay there. Okay. All right. Jimmy Garoppolo, the Raiders starting quarterback. Now, here's a guy that has been injury prone since he was in New England. This guy's a bum. Bottom line. He's been hurt. He doesn't play well. And now he's going to get a 2-game suspension for using enhancing drugs. And you know what's interesting? No one even knows if he's going to be the starting quarterback with the Raiders. They have a new offensive coordinator and a new coach. Antonio Pierce is the new coach, and Luke Getsy is their offensive coordinator. And those of you who don't know, Luke Getsy used to coach at Green Bay. Then he went to the Bears. Flopped there, according to some people. Was once a quarterback's coach with Green Bay and I think a few other teams here and there. Offensive assistant, cleaning toilets, whatever. Okay. Now he's the offensive coordinator down there in the Las Vegas Raiders. I almost called him Oakland again. It's just a source of habit sometimes. You don't get used to that stuff. All right. But here's a guy, Jimmy Garoppolo, who just has been hurt most of his career and hasn't contributed, and they pay big money for this guy. And San Francisco had to let him loose. Okay. So what do you do here with Jimmy Garoppolo? If you're the Las Vegas Raiders, what do you do? Luke Getsy's already made statements that he can't wait to start working with the guy they got down there now. Okay? He's not interested in Garoppolo. Unless Garoppolo comes up with some miracle way of getting his job back, I don't see that happening. And I see the Raiders dumping him. They're going to have to eat it with him. And I've said this many times as well, that you have people who, for some strange reason, you have these teams, they give these bum quarterbacks who really never have been good quarterbacks all this big money. Look at Geno Smith. He was horrible with the Jets. Went to Seattle, started there, Had a couple mediocre seasons, and all of a sudden they throw big money at him, and he's still mediocre. Okay? He's still the same. How about Daniel Jones with the Giants? How about Russell Wilson? All these guys got big money and bombed out. Denver just cut Russell Wilson or is about to cut him in March. And if I'm the Steelers, I'd pick him up. But I'm not the Steelers, and the Steelers aren't going to do it. All right. And those of you out there who are Steeler fans who actually think that perhaps that's going to happen, you're wrong. You're dreaming. You're living in a dream where it's a pipe dream because it's not going to happen. Now, Justin Fields, maybe. It's looking like Justin Fields. I've heard rumors and speculation and erroneous reports that the Steelers are interested in Justin Fields. Not going to happen. I don't see it happening. I see Ryan Tannehill and Marcus Mariota. That is my picks for the Steelers for backup quarterbacks. Both quarterbacks have a history with Arthur Smith. Marcus Mariota said he was one of the best coaches he ever had. He was in Tennessee with them, and he was in Atlanta with them. And I don't know what the Eagles are going to do with him, Marcus Mariota. His contract's up in March. March is free agency. It's coming up. All right. What are the Steelers going to do? I can't say. I don't know. But if you watch my Pittsburgh Sports Talk this week coming up on Blog Talk Radio, the very last show I'm ever doing there on that network, 563-999-3740 is the number to call to listen in. Ray Fittipaldo will join us from the Pittsburgh Post because he's going to tell us exactly what the Steelers are up to this offseason. All right. This Tuesday, the 20th, on Sports Corner Radio Show, Smoke and Jim and I are having an open show. I want to hear from you. I want to know what you want to hear. I want to hear from you. I want you to call the show, 724-843-1888, Tuesday, February 20th, open show. I want to hear from you. No guess. We're going to talk about that stinky team called the Cleveland Browns. How about them soaking up all them awards at the NFL honors? Horrible. They stink. They will always stink, and they will never be a good team, ever. And I don't care what anyone in Cleveland thinks about what I have to say. I've already been blasted. I've had people email me, call me every name in the book because they're mad at me because I said something about the Cleveland Browns. That's too bad. Your team will never be great. They'll never go to the Super Bowl. They'll never hold on to a good coach. They never will, Cleveland Browns. You might have a little victory this year for all the awards you won, but the key ingredient here is to get to the Super Bowl. And you don't seem to be able to pump up the ingredients to get to a Super Bowl. Now, I will admit the Steelers are not going to go to the Super Bowl with Mike Tomlin. And see, I'm not afraid to admit that. All right. So we're going to find out in the AFC North this year what the Cincinnati Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Baltimore Ravens are going to do, because I don't see the Steelers doing much this year, and I don't see them going to the Super Bowl as long as Mike Tomlin is the head coach. And if that happens, I will do all my shows naked. Okay, I will do my shows naked, my sports shows. All right. And now that I'm moving to social media, you can actually see the fact that I might do all my shows naked. If Steelers go to Super Bowl with Mike Tomlin, I don't care if they win or lose, I will do my shows naked. Because I don't see it happen. Not with Kenny Pickett, not with any of them, because I don't see that happening. But I predicted Arthur Smith because I didn't think anybody else would take this job as offensive coordinator. And guess what? I was right again. I was right about the Super Bowl. I'm right a lot. You ask Smoking Jim Frazier. I'm right about a lot of things. But I don't get the respect I deserve for this. I don't. I'm tired of being a redheaded stepchild, and I'm not going to do it no more. I'm done. There's some local shows here that are on Sunday nights called The Final Word and The Sports Showdown. Ralph's never been invited on either one of them. I don't know why. I have no idea. But they have these bums of ex-players who are on there who have no idea how to talk on a microphone. They have no idea how to present themselves. They have no idea nothing. What can they offer? Nothing. Nothing. All right. One last thing here, and then we're going to go to a break and come back. I have some announcements, and we'll get into some more of telling it like it is here on a Saturday morning. We're here every Saturday, 10:30 a.m. YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter X platforms. I'm Ralph Williams. Leo Haggerty's not with me today. He has other obligations. Dallas Cryboys. All right. They have signed defensive line coach from the Commanders. All right. So there we are with that. And then they also signed Mike Zimmer as defensive coordinator. Now, that's a good hire for Dallas because Mike Zimmer is a great defensive mind. He was an average head coach up there in Minnesota. Took him to some playoff runs and whatnot. He's about a mediocre coach. As far as a head coach goes now, as a defensive mind, he's a great guy. So Dallas got a good hire. Let's just hope it works out for them because it didn't work out for them this year with Dan Quinn. That's why it took so long for Dan Quinn to get a job. All right. All right. When we come back, more of telling it like it is right after these words. Let me talk to you here today about Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. 724-201-0500. Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. They have the best technicians to handle your furnace, air conditioner, UV lighting, snow melt, much, much more. Call them today, 724-201-0500. Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. You can also catch them on Facebook at Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. Mata, you oughta call Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. I'm here to talk to you today about sponsorship advertising at a low cost. 412-545-4317 is the number to call for low-cost advertising with RW Media Productions. You get Sports Corner Radio on Beaver County Radio. You get 4 podcasts. You also get 3 national shows on Blog Talk Radio. All that for one low price. That number again, 412-545-4317, sponsorship advertising. Today is your lucky day. I'm here to talk to you today about Hillcrest Farm, Richmond, Ohio, 45 minutes from downtown Pittsburgh, right up the hill from Steubenville, Ohio. Look, Hillcrest Farm, Richmond, Ohio has the best hay grain beef around, and they have some great package deals like the ground beef box for $95 for 20 pounds of ground beef. You can reach them at 740-346-5442, 740-632-2894. Email them at hillcrestfarmsohio@gmail.com or check out their website at www.hillcrestfarmsohio.com or on their Facebook page at Hillcrest Farm. Some of the best hay grain beef around and right up the hill from Steubenville, Ohio. Hillcrest Farm in Richmond, Ohio has the best hay grain beef around. Hillcrest Farm, Richmond, Ohio. Hello, Ralph Williams here to talk to you today about Sleep Pittsburgh, 8th Avenue Homestead, for the best selection of affordable mattresses, day beds, lift chairs, futons, and more. Check out sleeppittsburgh.com for their inventory or call 412-462-7858. They also offer no credit check financing and a whole lot more. Sleep Pittsburgh for the best sleep tonight. Ralph Williams here today to let you know that I am handicapped. I'm in a wheelchair, and I will not deny it. But I've had some recent inconveniences lately. So you know what I did? I went out and I reached out to foldandtravelmobility.com.
foldandtravelmobility.com has some of the best folding power wheelchairs. Look, do you not go to certain events because you can't get there or you can't make it because you need a folding power wheelchair to put in your vehicle? Well, guess what? foldandtravelmobility.com has the right model for you. Get in touch with them today. foldandtravelmobility.com. Get on the phone, 1-877-GOTFOLD, foldandtravelmobility.com, 1-877-GOTFOLD. Let the experts help you get into a folding power wheelchair. Don't be sad. Be glad. Let your life get back in order. foldandtravelmobility.com. Draft412.com is a website that provides you with all of the best information about any draft, NHL, Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, any kind of draft. 412.com has an e-magazine delivered to your inbox for $9 a month. And also they give you all the skinny and on all the athletes and also podcasts. Draft412.com.
Okay, we're back here at Telling It Like It Is. I'm Ralph Williams. Leo Haggerty is off today. He's doing some other work with Amped Up Sports, of course. All right, I want to talk about the UFL. UFL is getting ready to start their season. It's the United Football League, formerly the USFL and the XFL, and they had to merge. Why? Because the XFL was down $60 million in a hole after last year. So they picked 8 teams to do this year for this UFL. Now, the Maulers, of course, Pittsburgh Maulers are not part of it. They were in the championship game last year against Birmingham, and they're not part of it this year. All right, the teams that are the Birmingham Stallions, and they're coached by Skip Holtz, all right, who is the 2-time defending championship team. They also have quarterback Aiden Martinez, who's been around on their team. Arlington Renegades. Bob Stoops, despite the fact they were 4-6 last season and was in the XFL playoffs, believe it or not, will be back this year as well. All right. So let's see here. We have, let me look here. Okay. DC Defenders are back. All right. And they finished 9-1 last year and were undefeated and play at that Audi Field in Washington, D.C. So we're going to find out where they go this year. And we'll see what happens with them. All right. Next, the Houston Roughnecks. All right. Curtis Johnson is their head coach again, 5-5. All right, for them. So we'll see where they go this year. All right. The Memphis Showboats. Let's see here. Oh, they're coached by John DeFilippo this year instead of Todd Haley. Todd Haley's no longer their coach. Wow, I didn't know that. Okay. So the Memphis Showboats have former Houston or New Orleans Breakers coach John DeFilippo as their coach. So that'll work out for them. St. Louis Battlehawks. They were 7-3 last year and held the XFL attendance record. Football should come back to St. Louis. I don't know why the NFL hasn't put them down for an expansion team, kind of like what they did for the Browns. They signed A.J. McCarron as their quarterback. I'm not sure, but I know last year their offensive coordinator may have gotten fired. The Michigan Panthers. Mike Nolan is our coach for a second season. As you know, Jeff Fisher stepped down, so we'll see where this all goes. San Antonio Bravos, Hines Ward has been fired. Wade Phillips is their new coach. Gosh almighty, Wade Phillips is as old as dirt. So, he's the new coach in San Antonio for the Bravos. All right, so that is your 8 teams for this year's UFL. What are your thoughts on the UFL this year? I'm not happy with it at all because the Pittsburgh Maulers are not in it. And I think that was wrong. I think that the USFL should have functioned on their own instead of merging with the XFL. USFL had the right model. But what they should have done was, I think most of these teams that they claim had low attendance, they had the Maulers playing in Canton. A lot of people, hey, you know what? Canton's a nice little easy trip. You can go over there, stay at a hotel there or whatever. Go to the Hall of Fame, watch a Maulers game for $10 a ticket and go home. But people didn't see it that way. I got blasted for trying to suggest that to people. Oh, I'm going to Disneyland. I'm going to Florida. Well, good. You go there. You spend all your hard-earned money there. You go take out a loan to go there when you could have went to Canton and watched the Maulers game. Take your kids to the Hall of Fame. Okay? But we're worried about Disney World. That's fine. I don't care about Disney World. Doesn't do anything for me. All right? So, why in the world would you even think of that when I'm trying to help you? So I don't help people anymore. I'm done. Because all I get is a bunch of sarcasm and a bunch of nonsense and a bunch of crap on my emails. Okay? I get people, oh, you shouldn't do that. Well, you know what? I'm doing it. You don't like it? All right? I've always said this. When I'm by myself, I'm dangerous. And that's the case. Also coming up with the RW Media restructuring that I wanted to talk to everyone about this morning is I'm doing a show called Sports Corner Capsule. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come on the air whenever something breaking happens for about 5 minutes and do a capsule. Okay. And that'll happen every day as long as something happens. So let's say Penguins play. I'll come on and go, well, the Penguins lost and boom, 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 and be off the air. It's going to be called a capsule, a 5-minute little segment or 10-minute segment about what's going on in the sports world. It's called Sports Corner Capsule. All right. Little thing that's going to start happening as well. That'll start on March 10th. Okay. March 10th. Because that is when all my new shows will start, new videos, new everything, new graphics, new everything. I'm restructuring RW Media Productions. Okay. All shows now, except for Sports Corner Radio Show, will be here on all social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter X platforms. All right. So go tell your friend, tell your cousin, call somebody, get them here. That includes Ralph's Opinion and the External Bum and the Pittsburgh Sports Talk Show. It will all be here. I'm dissolving myself with Block Talk Radio. Most of you are probably glad. I don't get that much fare over there as I would here. All right. I don't get that much of an audience there as I do here. Also, don't forget this Tuesday, Sports Corner Radio Show, open show, no guests. 724-843-1888, 724-774-1888. Monday, 11 a.m., Ralph's Opinion. It'll be here, not on Block Talk Radio. Here it'll be. Okay? And then I'm off for 2 weeks, and then I'll be back on March 11th. Okay? And then on also this coming Monday, 7 p.m., the way we see it, I'm working on getting a couple guests on, or at least one. I'm working on getting the mayor of Monroeville on. I want to talk about this Monroeville Convention Center crap that's been going on. I think it stinks. I think it shouldn't have gone on. I gave my opinion last week. Bill's going to join me on Monday, and we're going to talk about this more in depth, a little bit about this Monroeville Convention Center and what they have done to shut this down. Oxford management has decided that they're going to shut this down. They claim they're not making any money, and they rented it to Hobby Lobby. Well, that's going to change according to the Monroeville mayor. He wants to put some, he wants to keep it as a convention center, of course, and he wants the events to come back, and he wants Hobby Lobby, and he has space for them in another place. All right, so we'll talk about that Monday, 7 p.m., the way we see it right here on the same 4 social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter X. Then Wednesday, Pittsburgh Sports Talk with me, Ralph Williams, Smoking Jim Frazier, our very last show on Block Talk Radio, and then I'm done. 563-999-3740. My guest, Ray Fittipaldo from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, to come on and talk about the Steelers. Ray will be back on with us on the 27th on Sports Corner Radio Show to also talk about the Steelers. And the 27th, I have a great lineup. I have JB Ellis from Sideline Sports to talk about baseball. I also have John Parado live from Bradenton to talk about the Pirates. And I have some news for you that I'm going to see if John Parado can confirm, and I hope it's right. And I hope it is what it is, because if it's not, then this team is really done. All right? They are really in big, big trouble if it's not what I was told that it was. Okay? All right. And then on Friday, which will restart March the 15th, we're off until then, the External Bum Show with me, Ralph Williams, Scott Morgan, Roth, Leo Haggerty, and JT Toth. And we'll be here on social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter X Fridays, 11 a.m., starting back up again March 15th. Restructuring, reorganizing, RW Media Productions. If you want to be a sponsor, an advertiser, you have a business, you're struggling a little bit, don't want to pay the high fees that some of these other companies charge, 412-545-4317, Ralph Williams 737 at gmail.com. We'll talk. Okay. I have great affordable rates. And then every Saturday morning here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter platforms is Telling It Like It Is with me, Ralph Williams, and Leo Haggerty. All right. All right. So, all right, let me do this here real quick. I want to thank everyone for listening in today. I really appreciate it, or watching as well. And we'll be back next week, Leo and I. All right, we'll be back next week. The following week, that's kind of debatable because I'm taking off from all my shows, so I don't think we're going to be doing anything on the March 2nd. Okay, but I'll let you know. Keep you informed as to what's going on. All right. All right. Everybody enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy your weekend. Stay warm. If you're in the cold, if you're hot, stay cool wherever you are. I thank you for watching and be safe.
People waiting for some kind of sign from above. Lost in the shadows of doubt, need a message of love. Nothing is certain at uncertain times. Hard to see.